Have you ever looked around and felt like you do not belong? Like you are living in a world that was never designed for someone like you? You may be surrounded by people, yet feel completely invisible. Your heart cries for connection, but your soul keeps pulling you away. This is not random. This is not a curse. This is a divine calling. If you are someone who has been walking alone, misunderstood, doubted, ignored, or abandoned, then this message is not just for you. This message is you. And by the time you finish watching this, you will understand exactly why your isolation was never a punishment. It was preparation. There is a certain kind of soul that walks a different path in life. This soul feels things more deeply, sees beyond what is obvious, and carries a light that the world does not always understand. These souls are often called the chosen ones, and there is something very unique about their journey. It is almost always filled with isolation. From a very early age, many chosen ones feel different from the people around them. They may be surrounded by family, classmates, or even a crowd, yet feel an inner distance that no one else can seem to cross. It is not because they are disconnected. In fact, it is quite the opposite. They are deeply connected, but not to the surface of the world. They are connected to something deeper, something higher, something that most people cannot see. This feeling of being different often leads to loneliness, but not because the chosen one is not loved or valued. Rather, it is because their frequency is higher, and their spirit is more sensitive to energies that most people are not even aware of. They feel the pain behind a smile, the truth behind a word, and the energy behind a room. This depth of perception creates a natural distance, not by choice but by design. Chosen ones are often pulled away from crowds, relationships, and environments that are not aligned with their soul's purpose. While others are busy chasing external pleasures, chosen ones are being prepared in silence. Their isolation is not a punishment. It is a sacred space where their soul is being refined. It is where they begin to listen to the voice within, where they discover who they truly are without the noise of the world. In this solitude, they start to understand their mission. They begin to see patterns, signs, and truths that others often miss. They learn to rely on their inner guidance instead of external approval. This self-discovery is not always easy, but it is always worth it. Through isolation, the chosen ones develop wisdom, emotional strength, spiritual clarity, and a deeper connection to the divine. What many do not realize is that isolation often protects the chosen ones from energy that is not meant for them. It shields them from distractions, drama, and situations that could delay their spiritual growth. Just like a seed must be buried alone in the dark before it can rise as a tree, the chosen one must first walk through solitude before stepping into light. So if you have been feeling isolated, know that there is nothing wrong with you. In fact, everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Your quiet path is not a mistake. It is a sacred process. The world may not understand your silence, but one day it will recognize your light. Stay patient, stay strong, and trust the journey. You are not being left behind. You are simply being prepared to lead. There comes a time in the journey of every soul when silence speaks louder than noise, and stillness becomes the loudest teacher. This is the sacred space where many chosen ones find themselves. Alone, distant, and often misunderstood. However, this isolation is not a punishment, nor is it a mistake. It is something far deeper and far more divine. It is a separation designed for transformation. When a soul is being prepared for something extraordinary, it must first be purified, awakened, and reshaped from within. That process cannot happen in the middle of chaos. It cannot happen while the world's distractions, opinions, and energies are pulling in all directions. So the universe, in its infinite wisdom, begins to gently remove the noise. One by one, people drift away, environments shift, and old identities begin to fade. What is left is a sacred silence, and in that silence, something powerful begins to awaken. This divine separation is not to break you, but to rebuild you. It is a spiritual cocoon, much like what the caterpillar experiences before it transforms into a butterfly. From the outside, it may look like nothing is happening, but within, everything is changing. Patterns are being cleared, old wounds are being healed, false identities are being dissolved, and the true self, the divine self, is slowly rising to the surface. During this time, you may find that the things which once excited you no longer bring joy. The relationships you once clung to no longer feel aligned. The places that once felt like home now feel distant. This is all part of the transformation. It is the soul outgrowing its old container. Just like a snake must shed its skin to grow, the chosen one must shed the layers of who they used to be to become who they truly are. Spiritual isolation is the universe's way of saying, "Come closer, listen deeply, I have something to show you." It is an invitation to go within and remember the sacred truth that has always lived inside your spirit. It is where divine wisdom begins to flow, where intuition sharpens, and where the soul begins to truly remember its purpose on earth. Many ancient traditions have spoken of this stage. Mystics, prophets, and enlightened beings all walked through a season of solitude before their mission fully awakened. It is in the silence that divine messages become clear. It is in the stillness that the inner light becomes brighter. But this is not a permanent state. Isolation is never the final destination. It is the sacred doorway that leads to empowerment. Once the transformation is complete, the chosen one returns to the world. But this time, not to fit in, but to stand out. Not to follow, but to lead. Not to seek approval, but to fulfill a divine assignment. You may feel forgotten during this phase, but the truth is, you are being remembered by the universe. You are being upgraded, elevated, and realigned with the highest version of yourself. Your separation is your preparation. Your silence is your sanctuary, and your solitude is your strength. So embrace the isolation. Let it teach you. Let it shape you. Let it remind you of the powerful light you carry within. This is not an ending. It is the sacred beginning of the truest version of your life. And when the time comes, the world will meet you not as the same person who went into hiding, but as a transformed soul, awake, aligned, and unstoppable. You are not alone. You are becoming divine. There is a sacred mystery hidden within the experience of isolation, one that is often misunderstood and overlooked. While many see isolation as a period of emptiness, those walking a spiritual path come to realize it is actually a powerful form of divine protection. For the chosen ones, this solitude is not loneliness, it is a shield. It is a hidden form of grace that gently removes you from the noise of the world so that your spirit can stay aligned, focused, and free. The world is filled with countless energies, voices, and distractions. Every day, you are surrounded by expectations, opinions, judgments, and emotional vibrations from others. These influences, although invisible, can weigh heavily on the soul. Without realizing it, they can blur your inner clarity, cloud your intuition, and pull you away from your purpose. This is why the universe steps in and gently creates space around you. That space is isolation, but it is not empty. It is full of meaning. It is a divine barrier between you and everything that is not meant for your growth at this time. During these seasons, you may notice that certain people fall away, invitations become fewer, and the noise around you begins to quiet down. It may seem strange at first, even painful, but beneath the surface, something beautiful is happening. You are being protected. You are being shielded from distractions that would delay your transformation. You are being removed from environments that are not in harmony with your vibration. You are being kept safe from the noise of the world so that you can hear your own soul more clearly. The isolation is like a spiritual womb where your next level is being formed in silence. It is within this protected space that you begin to understand your own energy. You start to feel what uplifts you and what drains you. You learn to trust your inner voice without needing external validation. You discover peace not because everything around you is calm, but because you have learned to find calmness within. This phase may also protect you from unnecessary conflicts or relationships that are not rooted in truth. Many times, we stay connected to people or places simply because they are familiar, but divine protection often comes in the form of separation. It is the universe gently closing doors, not to harm you, but to save you from paths that are no longer in alignment with who you are becoming. Think of it as a spiritual quarantine. Just like the body needs time and space to heal without external exposure, the soul also needs protection while it is going through deep transformation. During this period, your gifts are being sharpened. Your vision is being expanded. Your heart is being purified. And your life is being redirected towards something far greater. There is a reason you are not being invited to every space. There is a reason your presence is being hidden for a while. It is because your energy is sacred, and the universe is making sure it is not wasted or drained. You are being preserved for something important, something higher than you can yet imagine. So if you are experiencing isolation right now, do not fear it. Embrace it. Trust that you are being held in a place of safety. Use this time to grow, to listen, to heal, and to prepare. The noise of the world will return, but when it does, you will no longer be overwhelmed by it. You will be stronger, clearer, and more powerful than ever before. Your isolation is not a void. It is a sacred shield, placed around you by the universe itself. There are moments in life when everything feels quiet, almost too quiet. You may wonder why things are not moving, why answers are delayed, or why it feels like you are walking through life unseen. But in truth, something powerful is taking place behind the scenes. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are being watched, not in judgment, but with care, with intention, and with divine love. This season of your life is not random. It is not meaningless. It is a sacred preparation, and the eyes of the universe are upon you. You are being observed to see how you respond in silence, how you hold your energy when no one is cheering you on, and how you stay faithful when no rewards are in sight. This is not a punishment. It is a test of spiritual endurance. Endurance means staying steady even when the path is unclear. It means continuing to walk forward even when you feel like standing still. It is about trust, not just in the outcome, but in the process itself. Many souls are gifted, but not every soul is ready. That is why the universe prepares you, strengthens you, and places you through this sacred test. Because the mission you carry requires more than talent. It requires depth. It requires maturity. It requires unshakable faith. Imagine a warrior training in silence, far from the battlefield. There are no crowds, no applause, no validation, just the discipline of showing up every day and sharpening the spirit. That is exactly what this season is about. The universe is watching not to punish you, but to promote you at the right time. But first, it must be certain that you can hold the power you are being prepared for. This is the phase where your strength is built in the dark so that your light can shine with purpose when the moment comes. Every time you choose faith over fear, every time you choose stillness over panic, and every time you keep going when no one is watching, you are proving your readiness. Sometimes the greatest form of spiritual maturity is how you behave when no one else is there. When you still pray, when you still grow, when you still believe, that silent strength is noticed. The divine watches how you respond to delays, how you treat others during trials, and how you honor your purpose even in the waiting. You are not being overlooked, you are being observed. And in this observation, the universe is aligning everything that is meant for you. But just like a seed planted in the soil, you cannot rush the process. Growth happens underground before it is ever seen in the sunlight. This time is your sacred test. Will you break under pressure, or will you rise with grace? Will you give in to doubt, or will you continue to believe in what your soul knows to be true? These choices define your spiritual endurance. The good news is that you are not alone in this test. You are guided, you are supported, and you are being led to something greater than your current vision. Every challenge is shaping your character. Every silence is deepening your wisdom. Every delay is polishing your soul. And when the time is right, the universe will reveal all that has been prepared for you. Until then, hold on. Keep walking. Keep trusting. Because those who endure the preparation are the ones chosen to carry the light into the world. You are being watched because you are worthy. You are being prepared because you are powerful. And you are being tested so that you will be ready. There is a kind of pain that words often fail to describe. It is the pain of loneliness. Not the kind that comes from being alone in a room, but the deep ache that arises when your soul feels unseen, unheard, and misunderstood. This loneliness is not just emotional. It is spiritual. It whispers in the silence, especially for those who walk a higher path, the chosen ones. When you feel set apart, even in a crowd, it can feel like a burden. You may wonder why others seem to connect so easily, while your journey feels distant and quiet. But this loneliness is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sacred invitation to discover something that can only be found within, the birth of your inner strength. The truth is, those who are chosen for a divine mission must go through moments of solitude. This solitude is not meant to break you. It is meant to reveal you. It is in the stillness that you begin to hear the voice of your true self. It is in the quiet that your spirit begins to awaken. The pain of being alone becomes the very fire that forges a strength you never knew you had. When the distractions of the world are stripped away, when the noise is silenced, and when companionship is removed, something miraculous happens. You begin to meet your higher self. You learn how to stand with yourself. You learn how to comfort your own heart, how to trust your own intuition, and how to become your own greatest guide. This inner strength is not built through comfort. It is built through endurance. Every tear that falls in silence becomes a part of your sacred journey. Every night you spend wondering when the light will return is preparing you to become that light. You are not being abandoned, you are being transformed. Think of a butterfly. Before it can fly, it must endure complete stillness in the cocoon. It must leave behind everything it once was. That process is not easy, but it is necessary. The loneliness you feel is your cocoon. It is preparing your wings. And though it hurts now, one day you will rise with grace, strength, and beauty beyond anything you imagined. In this season, you may feel like no one understands what you are going through, and perhaps they do not. But that is because your path is not meant to be understood by everyone. It is tailored for your soul. The divine is walking with you, quietly strengthening you, patiently waiting for you to see who you truly are beneath the layers of pain. When you rise from this loneliness, you will not rise empty. You will rise filled with wisdom, with clarity, with compassion. You will become a light for others who are walking the same silent road you once did. Your pain will become your power. Your silence will become your strength. Your isolation will become your preparation. This is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a deeper chapter. A chapter where you step into your own power, where you stop seeking validation outside and start building a home within, where you transform your pain into purpose and your loneliness into leadership. Remember, true strength is not shown in crowds. It is revealed in the quiet moments when you choose not to give up. So if you feel alone right now, know this: you are being refined. You are being prepared. And most of all, you are being guided toward the greatest version of yourself. Your inner strength is not coming. It is already being born. There is a powerful reason why certain souls are pulled away from the crowd, why they feel alone even in a room full of people, and why their path seems more quiet, more challenging, and more spiritually intense. This is not a mistake. It is not a punishment. It is a sacred process known as divine isolation. And if you are a chosen one, you may already be walking through it, whether you fully realize it or not. Divine isolation is a spiritual experience in which you are separated from the noise of the world in order to hear something deeper, your divine calling. But how do you know if you are experiencing this? Here are some clear signs that you are a chosen one going through divine isolation. 1. You feel deeply disconnected from people and places that once felt familiar. You may have outgrown friendships, relationships, or environments that no longer resonate with your soul. It is not because you are better than anyone else. It is because your soul is rising to a higher frequency. The universe is gently removing what no longer serves your purpose. 2. Silence and solitude have become your unexpected companions. You may find that you are spending more time alone, not by force but by divine design. This silence is not empty. It is filled with messages, wisdom, and spiritual growth. The quiet moments are preparing you to understand your inner world with clarity and purpose. 3. You feel a strong inner urge to change, evolve, and grow even when you cannot explain why. Something inside you keeps pushing you forward, even when nothing outside is changing. That deep inner pull is your spiritual self urging you to transform and prepare for something greater. 4. You begin to see signs and synchronicities around you. Repeating numbers, vivid dreams, powerful encounters, or spiritual messages may begin appearing more frequently. These signs are reminders that you are not alone and that your isolation is part of a bigger spiritual journey. 5. You feel emotionally sensitive and spiritually open. During divine isolation, your senses heighten. You may feel more intuitive, more emotionally aware, and more energetically connected. This is because your soul is tuning in to divine frequencies and spiritual insights. 6. You often feel misunderstood by others. Your thoughts, ideas, and dreams may seem too deep or too different for those around you. But this is not because you are wrong. It is because you are awakening. Divine isolation often places you in situations where others cannot fully grasp your experience, but that solitude builds your inner strength. 7. You have a deep desire to serve, to heal, or to uplift others even before you fully understand how. Your heart beats with purpose. Even in your silent moments, you feel called to do something meaningful in this world. This is the calling of the chosen one. And divine isolation is the preparation ground where your purpose is being shaped. 8. You are not bitter, you are becoming better. Even in your lonely moments, you are not becoming cold or disconnected. Instead, you are becoming more compassionate, more aware, and more connected to your true self and to a higher divine force. If you relate to these signs, you are not lost, you are being guided. Divine isolation is not a delay. It is divine timing. It is preparing your heart, your mind, and your spirit for the higher mission you came here to fulfill. Remember, every chosen one goes through a season of isolation before stepping into greatness. The silence is not empty. The waiting is not wasted. You are being positioned, purified, and prepared. Your time is coming. Stay patient. Stay grounded. Stay faithful. There comes a moment in every spiritually chosen life where everything begins to feel unfamiliar. People drift away. Situations become quieter. Your phone rings less. Invitations stop coming. It almost feels as if the entire world has placed you on pause. But what appears to be loneliness on the surface is, in truth, something far more divine. It is not the end of your connection with the world. It is the beginning of your spiritual awakening. The truth is, isolation is not a punishment. It is a preparation. It is the sacred space where the universe begins to awaken the real you. When you are constantly surrounded by noise, distractions, and expectations, it becomes difficult to hear the voice of your soul. That deep, inner knowing, the part of you that carries your divine purpose, often whispers, not shouts. And so, the universe, in its infinite wisdom, creates silence around you. That silence is not to make you feel abandoned. It is to give you space to awaken. In this silence, your heart begins to open. You begin to question what truly matters. You start to look within for answers you once sought outside. This inward journey is where the magic happens. It is where illusions fall away and truth rises. You start to realize that your past was not random. It was a series of signs. Every challenge, every heartbreak, every moment of being misunderstood was not there to break you. It was there to wake you. And now, in this sacred space of isolation, you are beginning to see clearly. You may wonder why this had to happen in such a lonely way. But look deeper. Without the noise, you found your inner voice. Without the crowd, you began to walk your own path. And without the constant need to please others, you started to honor your truth. That is awakening. Many people chase awakening through books, travel, or external knowledge. But true awakening begins in stillness. It begins in discomfort. It begins in isolation. That is where the layers of who you were told to be start falling off, and the truth of who you are begins to rise. You are not who you were before. The thoughts that once limited you no longer have power. The doubts that once held you back are now being replaced with clarity. And most importantly, your heart is learning how to trust itself again. This phase may feel slow, even uncertain at times. But know this, every soul that is destined for something greater must first walk through the valley of quietness. This is where spiritual leaders, healers, visionaries, and chosen ones are shaped. Not in the spotlight, but in silence, in sacred isolation. And as this awakening deepens, you will begin to feel something shift. You will start to notice your intuition growing stronger. You will begin to attract new energies, new ideas, and new paths that feel aligned with your soul. The fog will clear, and a new vision of your life will begin to emerge, not from pressure, but from purpose. So, the next time you feel isolated, remember this: you are not being buried. You are being planted. And when the time is right, you will rise with deeper roots and brighter light. Isolation was never the end. It was the sacred beginning. The awakening of your truest self has only just begun. And the universe is guiding you every step of the way. If you are in isolation right now, do not run. Do not resist. Embrace the silence. There is a voice in the quiet that will change your life. And if this message felt like your truth, type, "I accept my isolation" in the comments. Let others know you are not the only one walking this path. You are not alone. There is a reason you feel different, a reason why your journey has never followed the ordinary path. You were not meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out, not through noise or attention, but through presence, purpose, and sacred energy. You were set apart not because something is wrong with you, but because something very special lives within you. Being sacred means your soul carries light that this world desperately needs. It means your spirit holds a vibration that is not easily understood by many. That is why your path may have felt lonely. That is why people may have misread your silence. But you must understand, this separation was never rejection. It was divine redirection. The universe placed you on a higher path, not to punish you, but to prepare you. Your calling requires clarity. Your mission needs strength. And your light must remain pure. You were set apart so you could be guided by something greater, by truth, by love, and by purpose. You are not alone. Every step, every tear, every moment of silence has been preparing you for something powerful. This is your confirmation. You are sacred. You are chosen. You were never forgotten. You were hidden, nurtured, and strengthened for the right time. And now that time is near. Stand tall. Embrace your uniqueness. Let your sacred light shine fully. Because the world is not waiting for another copy. It is waiting for you. The real, radiant, awakened you. You were set apart because you are sacred. Never forget that.